Hey guys, welcome back to Impossible Mowers. In today's video, we're going to see if we can get this Toro Briggs & Stratton running and mowing again. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As I said in the beginning of the video, we're going to see if we can get this to run and mow again. I got this from a customer who told me that he bought it off of Facebook Marketplace for about $100, $150, nothing too bad. And he drove it, or he mowed with it for a season. And then just this year, he ran into problems after he put gas into it. It would run and then die, and then run and then die. And I'm telling you right now, I can already smell it, literally. It's probably bad gas, but you never know. It could be bad gas with a concoction of the needle being stuck in the carburetor. So we're going to see if we can get this to go. And before I go on about that, Chuck is going to be on the road next week. That's the hope. We got some parts for it that are coming in, including a billet fuel filter, billet aluminum fuel filter belt, and we're going to get this tire down here remounted. And we also had to say goodbye to the Cub Cadet. As you see, it is not here anymore. I got rid of it because it was just too much money. Even though she was a good rig, she got me 12,000 views on the channel. I just had to get rid of it. Just too many problems with it. Solely for some money, but hey, you know, we got some shop space, so the Cub Cadet's gone. It's a sad sight to not see a yellow Cadet there, so a moment of silence for the old girl. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Just the Cub Cadet left. We fixed up the mower right over there, and we're going to get this one pulled into the shop tomorrow before it rains. So that leaves us with Chuck and this push mower. So I thought, while I'm waiting for parts for the John Deeres and this mower, I'd just do a quick video on this little push mower. Give me a second to get things kind of arranged. I'm plugged into the old US General Out power strip because my phone is almost dead. So let me stop the camera and I'll put it back on when we get this motor all situated. All right guys, we're back. So I just drained the fuel in that drain pan, and let me tell you something. You can see how it's all watery here. So what we're gonna do is, after you dump your fuel on any push mower, open up the carburetor and let all that fuel out. In fact, we might even have to take this carburetor off to clean it, because leaving water in there sitting for a long time makes things rust. And as you can see right here, there's a whole stream of rusty water here. So we're gonna see what happens. You want that gas to leave everywhere. You don't want it anywhere in the mower. So always drain the carb too. So come on. Should be getting loose now. There we go. All it is, for you people who do not know, it's just a little bolt underneath the carburetor. It is a 13mm socket. Oh, and I didn't show you. Here's the blower shroud. Good old Briggs motor back in the day when they were built right. So we're gonna see a lot of sludge come out of here. Ooh, look at all that build up. Cleaning that up. Yeah, look at that. No way you want that in your motor. Definitely gonna pull the carburetor out. You can see how it's all just dirty in there. So let me pull the carb out and clean it. I gotta do that off camera. While I'm doing that, I'll pick up the camera when we go to pour some fresh fuel in it and crank it over, see what happens. And for those of you who just joined, we're just fixing this mower here. It's a Toro 6.75 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. And we're just draining the fuel out of it. I'm going to clean the carburetor because that is not good for the engine. And you can see the gasket is shot. So I'm going to put a new gasket on there and I'm going to clean up that carburetor. But I'm going to do that off camera to make it faster. So without further ado, I'll bring it back when we go to pour that fresh fuel in and see if it cranks. All right, guys, we're back. I know I told you I was going to pick it up after I did the gas, but I kind of forgot. I'm going to very nicely impact the bolts to the intake in. Let's see. I always do them by hand first, which I already did with all of them. Go. And then I go 1, 2. Don't need to jam them in there. It's solid. I gotta buy an air cleaner for it, but for now, running it like this isn't gonna hurt it. You just don't want to run it without an air cleaner in spots like dusty conditions. So without further ado, let me set up the camera, see if we can't pull start this thing and get it to crank over. All right, guys, we're back. Just took the carburetor out, cleaned it up a bit. I went to the gas station, got a brand new full tank of 83 octane fresh fuel, just to factor out, because you never know. If my fuel has water in it and I don't know about it, I don't want to make the situation worse. So just to eliminate the factor, I filled that tank and this tank up with full fuel. This is the fuel we found inside the mower. See how it's very much separated? All that gunk in there? That would never ever end. You can actually see the separation right there. Looks like vinegar, doesn't it? So it was definitely rusty / watery fuel in there. So, but the water caused the rust, so we'll just say watery fuel. A good amount of it did go on the side there, but I'm gonna clean that up. I got some cleaning equipment we use with Scott's rag and some of that Gojo stuff. So we'll clean that up, no problem. But I'm gonna first throw some fresh fuel in there after the mess I just made right now and see what we got for startup. Now, if this doesn't work and it keeps giving us trouble, could be two things. Either my gasket is bad, the gasket's bad on this thing, the carburetor gaskets, or I need to buy a carburetor rebuild kit because the needle's just so rusted it won't move. And the needle was rusted, but I did free it up using some of the carb cleaner. So, like I said, it could be anything, but hopefully this runs just fine. So, I'll stick our little funnel in there. And don't worry, we always use the clean funnels. Actually, no, that's too big. I might actually be able to just wing it. I've gotten pretty good at pouring gas. Not perfect, but look at that nice fresh fuel. See how it's nice and clear, see-through water? That's what you want. That's about good right there. Look at the tank, just about full. I'm gonna look on the side here to make sure we're not leaking fuel. It looks good. Not seeing any droplets yet, or at all. I'm always checking the fuel lines because you don't know how old these fuel lines are. And if it gives out on you, you don't want that to happen, and then you give the customer a leaking mower. So always just want to double check. So I'm going to start this again. We might need some of that ether to give it a little bit of a help. But let me just quickly check the oil. Probably should have done this first. Oh yeah, nice. Not smelling like gas, very good. All right, so let me set the camera up here and we'll give it a second attempt. Like I said, if this does not work, it could be a carb rebuild kit situation or a gasket situation. We'll see. I might need to grab some of that starting fluid just to give it a little help. Let's see if that does anything. What we'll try to do is we're going to flip the mower onto its side, like that, ish, and we're going to try to force feed it with some gas here. This isn't the best way of doing it. Probably gonna spill almost all of it. Just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. Sometimes the carburetor needs some help. Come on. Interesting. So you notice how when we put the fuel in here, it started to start. That tells me it's not a carburetor issue, it's probably a fuel delivery issue, which means we might have a clogged fuel line not providing enough fuel to the carburetor. It might be providing some, but not all. Or it could be a stuck needle that won't let go and it's not letting enough fuel get into the engine bay, if any at all. So that's interesting. What I'm gonna do, if this is the right one, let's see. I'm going to pop open the carburetor bowl just a tad bit with 13 mil, and we're gonna see if we see gas coming out. If we do, that's a good thing. Just try to loosen up. Telling you what, these D-bolts are great, but they are mischievous sometimes, mischievous. There we go, come on. It's like it wants to grab. I'm just gonna get a better angle at it. It's hard to get a camera under there. I'm gonna stop it right there and see if I don't see any fuel coming out of the carburetor bowl. So I'll get back to you guys after I do that. All right, guys, we're back. I have the bolt completely out of the bowl and there's not a drop in there, which tells me we have a clogged fuel line. I popped the bowl off camera, looked inside, everything's doing exactly what it should be doing. So our bowl is not filled with gas, which is not going to make our mower start. So just trying to put the bolt back in. Good heavens. DeWalt and Toro, not a good mix. Just put the camera down here. Good Lord. There we go. Come on. Okay. There we go. So, it's actually a good thing because it leaves less of a situation out. So, we're going to pop this back open and see if we can't look at the fuel line, pop it out, and see if we see any cloggage going on there, because it could be anywhere from here to the carburetor. So, we're going to check that out. And we're back. It took me a bit, but now we're dripping. That's what we want. We are filling the float bowl with fuel. There was nothing in there. There was a clog in the fuel line. It was this guy right there. Imagine that. That's all it took just to clog the line. It's crazy. The smallest, I've seen a little leaf do that before. It's crazy, but it happens. Why is this loosening? Okay, not dripping anymore. We're gonna connect everything back, go for a part 4 startup. Hey guys, I thought, I know I said before we were gonna try to start it, but something just occurred to me why this thing's not starting, and I think I found it. We're missing something there, and I found it right here on the ground. So at some point, when I tried to pull start it, something banged up or something pushed into the carburetor and broke the throttle linkage or the throttle butterfly valve here. But also the gasket tore off, and I saw a lot of smoke coming out of the muffler, which tells me it's time for a new carburetor. Luckily, these carburetors are like 10 bucks. They're pretty cheap, so I'm not too concerned about it. So I'll tell the customer about the carburetor, but this video is not over yet. We will pick this video up, and actually I'm going to stop the camera right now, and when we get the carburetor back, I will pick it up again. Alright guys, we're back. It is currently the following day, and it's raining outside, but I cleaned up the shop a little bit. Got the oil catch can there for a reason, because we're going to be seeing, I may have already done it. Let me see how got fuel. Oh, yeah, already did it. Bone dry. Anyways, so what I've done is I went on Amazon for like 15 bucks, 16 bucks. I got the owner some nice stuff. So I noticed that the cover, when you look at this, I'll take the bolts off. Right? So you can see here on the cover, the plastic little knob was there, but then it broke off. I can't put it back on. One of the edges here broke off. And I also noticed that when you look in the back here, one of these screws right up here was stripped out. It's hard to see. Right there, that little metal thread thing. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep this, not throw it out, because if I stumble upon this type of mower again, I have a spare. Because this is easy fixable. We don't want to just throw this stuff out. But what I did was, I thought I'd just buy a brand new one. Like I said, 15 bucks for this whole kit. And it comes with a primer, which is pretty nice. The other one didn't come with a primer. So this comes with all the bolts, gaskets, you know what, the whole 9. We also got the cover for it. Brand new air filter. And we got carburetor gaskets, brand new spark plug, and voila, carburetor itself. I'm going to show you guys just a little neck to neck. See the difference between these two carburetors. just to see what we're dealing with here. So when you look at them, obviously some big differences. The butterfly in this is here, whereas this one's completely broken. No differences really. I mean, other than one's brand new and the other one's not. But I mean, you can see the spout holes where the fuel comes in and out. Exact same thing on this side. This looks bigger when you look at this spout hole, this little jet, compared to this one. They look smaller, but they're the same size, just this one's a little dirtier. Like I said, we're not throwing any of this stuff out. We're going to keep this in the carburetor collection because it's always good to hang on to in case I get another mower like this. I can say, hey, I got a rebuilt carburetor, because this is still savable. All I need to do is just change the butterfly valve and rebuild the carb, and boom, you got a perfectly nice carburetor here, and maybe rub off some of that gasket and clean it up. So I never like to let this stuff go to waste. So we'll definitely be keeping that. Maybe a future carb cleaning video. I know I've done it before on the channel, but they were really half-assed camera work, because I used, like I said, the old cameras, the old Kindle there. But now that we have better cameras, we can actually start to film stuff a little more quality-wise. So definitely keep that. But yeah, gaskets, air filter, and just basically this was just an intake kit for this Toro. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. Just get her done. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take, here we go, we're going to take this air filter out. Put the rubber thing on the side there. Just kind of slowly take this stuff out. Take our time with it. We're not in a rush. Go. Come on, baby. There we go. Now, I don't know whether these actually come with primers, but when you look at the two of them, you can see this one's got the primer on the side. This one does not. So whether either this is factory and that's not, or that's factory and this is not. Somebody could have worked on it before and put an aftermarket intake on it, because I know these push mowers almost always come with primers on them. So for me to see one without a primer, it's not that it's impossible, it's just uncommon, because they usually have them for such a small carburetor. But you do get those lawnmowers out there that did come factory without the primer, so it doesn't really shock me if it didn't come with it. You can see basically when you squish that, a little tube goes down in here, flip it over here, and there's a little, hard to see, little piece of plastic going on across on the inside. That creates an airflow and allows the fuel to suck into the carburetor, giving it a little jump start. And got this little fuel hose. I guess it's for this guy right here, which we're gonna use, because this one looks a little really beat up. Not bad, but it almost looks like right here someone cut it and tried to make it fit, because when you put them neck to neck, they are different sizes. So basically with this, you just want to make sure, hold it like this and then flip it upside down, stuff it inside, and there you go, installed. Easy peasy. So let me get the bolts for the carburetor, and I'll show you guys how to put that in. So, all right, guys, we're back. Just put the carburetor in and the intake system. What I do recommend for you guys to do is, when I got this aftermarket part, it came with these little, I'll show you. It came with this little, kind of like a push pin thing right here to cover the choke. Delete that, because it doesn't give you anything to work with the bolts. And when it comes with the stock bolts, if there's anything in between there that's going to block the bolt, you're not going to get it in. So what I did was I just pulled it out, and my bolts were able to go in fine. And there you have it. So that's a quick little tech tip, just to make sure you have nothing blocking these two bolts. Nothing will change the performance on it. Choke is still choke whether you like it or not. So the choke on the carburetor right here is going to do the exact same thing as this plastic thing right here. Like I said, all it is just, it's the Mower's protective intake system, just so you don't get anything fine, which is why you have these air filters. And all you do is you set it in there. Put one hand to set it in there. You grab your cap. And then right there. Now I'm noticing that there's no bolt that is going into this cap. So I'm going to have to make my own or get one ready, because this is going to need one. So while I'm going to put this in, I'll pick it up when we go to change the spark plug. And then hopefully we'll get some sort of a noise out of this thing. Hopefully it'll cough, fart, it'll run. So I'll meet you guys when I do that. All right, guys, we're back. We're going to change the spark plug out, not because we need it, but because I figure I bought it with the kit, so why not? And it also eliminates any possibilities of not starting in the future. So we can see here, we got that terrible rusty one compared to this brand new one. You can see they're exactly the same, no difference, except one's brand new, the other one is not. So we're still gonna save this. We never throw anything away. And as I always preach to you guys, always put these precious bolts from the intake to the spark plug, put them in by hand first, and then use a impact, or for the spark plug in this case, you always want to do it by hand, because last thing I want to have happen is for me to tell the customer I broke the threads on the head and now he's got to get a new head. So 1, 2, 3, that's all you need. It's in there good. Slap it in there, and there you have it, folks. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put some fuel in it. We're going to put that in this top part on right now. Actually, I can probably show you guys that right now. It's pretty simple. You just set it in like that. You got your 2 screwdrivers right there. These are Phillips, a very small Phillips. I don't know what number. There you go. There you go. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to put some gas into it, prime it up, and we're going to see if it fires up. So I'll get back to you guys when we get this baby ready to fire up. All right, guys, we're back. We're about to fire the old beauty up. Just going to move some of the stuff up to the side. Clean that up later. Put some fresh gas into it. So let's see what she's got in store. Cross our fingers. She'll start right up. Awesome. That is a job well done and a success. Owner's going to be very happy with that. You can see how it starts to go, whoa, whoa. That's because there might have been some of that watery stuff in the fuel line working its way through the combustion chamber, but with that new spark plug, it's giving it such a big spark that the motor's just not caring whether it's got water in it or not. It's just going to give it its best at combustion, and sure enough, that good fuel was able to pass through the fuel line, get through the water, and clean itself out. So this sucker's good. I'm deeming it a success. Hoorah! This is just spare gaskets that came with the rig in case you blow a head gasket or run over rocks or something. So I'm going to keep these, probably tell the seller about them just so he's in the know. He might want these for himself. But yeah. So that is it. That is how you replace the carburetor. And really, actually, scratch that. That is how you get the water out of a Toro 6.75 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. I mean, I guess you could say that's how you do a carburetor swap, because that's what we did. But we got it to run. Like I said, owner came up to me, said that it just ran start after a mow or two, and he never figured out why. And our answer is because there was too much water sitting into it. And you can see how the carburetor and the spark plug, this wasn't due to a water, this is just age. You know, all spark plugs will rust out over age. But you can see the carburetor, there's just a lot, see all that white stuff in there? All that corrosion. That's all just bad gas that's just been sitting there molded up, and it's gonna rust out soon. So I'm really glad I didn't rebuild that carburetor, because stuff like the needle and seat, you know, it would have cost the shop time hours. And to be honest, it's just a cheaper fix. If you get the kit, you put it in the mower, and then before you know it, the customer's picking it up tomorrow, and he's happy, you're happy, all that. Well, guys, with all that said and done, that was a perfect success. I mean, we got the motor going, the customer's going to be happy, and I'm glad we were able to do it for him. So that's it for this old Briggs & Stratton Toro. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you like this video, click the bell notification for more videos in the future, and don't forget about the Instagram and Patreon page. Links are in below. And with all that said and done, hope you guys stay safe, and I'll catch you guys next time.